Thank you for joining us. Are you ready to breathe, move, and flow? Today you will be led through a Pilates class that focuses on leadership.
We'll begin with our chest lift, feet on the floor. With your knees bent up and the hands supporting your head, begin to chest lift up, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. As you do, keep your feet light but anchored to the mat. Now melt the head, neck, and shoulders back against the mat and repeat. I'd like for you to keep a neutral pelvis as the head, neck, and shoulders lift and as they lower back down.
Begin by answering for yourself. To lead is, a leader is. How do you answer those questions? Think of a person who models healthy leadership. What made that person a good leader? What qualities did that person show? We can't see others' thoughts and feelings. We can see actions. What similar qualities do you possess, and how have you shown those qualities?
We'll keep the head, neck, and shoulders lifted in our chest lift. Extend the right leg out to 45 degrees, and now begin to lift the leg up. We'll lower it back down. Lift the leg up with control and lower it back down. As the leg lifts, the head, neck, and shoulders will stay lifted. As the head finds the mat, the leg will lower down to a diagonal space. Pelvis stays still and in neutral.
Now think about a person in your life whose advice, feedback, and opinion is important to your leadership. What feelings do you have around that person? How has this person helped you in your leadership? What makes their insight so valuable? Leaders welcome the suggestions of those that too show up vulnerable and leave the criticism of others at the door.
With your right leg extended up to the sky, we'll go straight into single leg bridging. Lower the head down to prepare to bridge. Keep energy in the right toes and begin to float the pelvis away from the mat. Now lower the hips back down again, tapping the tailbone down, and repeat to hover the pelvis back up. My legs stay still upward towards the sky as my pelvis lifts and lowers.
Bringing to mind how trust is included in a role of a leader. Does a leader need to be trustworthy? And how does a leader grow trust among those that are being led? Building trust includes having boundaries, reliability, accountability, confidentiality, integrity, non-judgment, and generosity.
We'll begin to lift and lower the left leg from a chest lifted position. Extend the left leg out to 45 degrees. Now begin to lift the leg up and lower it back down. As the leg lifts, the head, neck, and shoulders will stay lifted. And as the head finds the mat, the leg will lower down to a diagonal space. Once again, the pelvis stays still.
When leading a team, does each team member desire the same type of support? What does support look like for yourself and each team member? Boundaries are essential in building trust and practicing empathy. Empathy is essential in leading.
With your left leg extended up to the sky, we'll go into bridging. Lower the head down to prepare to bridge. Keep energy in the left toes and begin to float the pelvis away from the mat. Now lower back down again, tapping the tailbone down, and repeat to hover the pelvis back up. My leg stays still and lifted towards the sky as my pelvis lifts and lowers.
When your mind begins to wander, bringing it back to this very moment. This moment where you are choosing to focus on leadership. What do you see, taste, smell, touch, hear, and feel?
Double leg stretch. Start curled into a tight ball with the arms stretched down by the ankles and the head, neck, and shoulders rounded away from the floor. Now begin to extend both the arms and legs away from the body into a hollow hold position. Then you'll circle the arms back in toward the ankles and then bend the knees in towards the chest. The arms and the legs extend together. You'll pause in a hollow hold and then curl the body into a ball shape once the arms circle back in towards the ankles.
Where does creativity and change fit for you in your leadership? Change can be overwhelming since the results are not yet known. Yet, change is constant. How are you leading your team through change to reach the overall goals? How is your team contributing to the overall goals, and are they aware of how their contributions influence outcomes?
Chest lift with hips and ankles wide and extended. The legs open up to form a V. Let's bring the index finger and the thumb together. Begin to chest lift up away from the floor. Round the upper back and stretch the fingertips up and over the hips. Pause at the top and reverse the movement back down, drawing the arms back over the chest last.
Feeling multiple emotions at the same time can be overwhelming. Yet, leaders often feel fear and courage at the same time. Managing the uncertainty and making choices despite these obstacles is a challenge. Acknowledging your own emotional blind spots and how they are influencing your leadership, while addressing your team's emotional blind spots, is crucial in leadership.
Kneeling sidekick. Your right knee and right hand down on the floor. The opposite leg will extend out so that your anchored toes, knees, and hand are on a straight plane. Let's start with your top foot flexed and begin to float the leg away from the floor. Hold it in a lifted position and begin to point and flex the top foot, curling the toes forward and then stretching the ankle to point, peeling the toes back and creasing the ankle to flex. Let's repeat 2 more times, and then you will keep your foot flexed and begin to thread the needle with the top hand. Round the elbow and twist the torso to thread the arm under the ribs. Then extend the arm back up towards the sky. As you do this, the pelvis stays still and your focus is on cinching the lower ribs as you rotate.
Imagine yourself leading from a place where your brain and your heart work together. As a leader, what intentions are driving your behaviors? Are your behaviors in line with your values?
Side plank. Your grounded hand stays down and your long leg will stay lengthened out. Keep your abdominals active and extend the bottom leg back into a staggered side plank. All 10 toes face one direction and you're lifting away from your supporting arm.
Our actions shape who we are. Our language shapes our reality. Pausing to notice if our actions are in line with our values. As a leader, how do you want to show up in challenging circumstances, times, and conversations? Are you living in line with your values during those moments?
Cat-cow. Extend the spine and open up the chest. Now curl the spine by rounding from the mid-back. As the spine extends, let the belly drop towards the floor. As the spine curls, draw your belly and ribs in towards the upper back.
Noticing what comes up in your moments of quiet. Practice labeling these emotions and pausing to tune into how your body is communicating these feelings to you.
Side plank. Opposite hand goes down, and this upper leg is going to extend. Carefully lengthen the bottom leg back into a staggered side plank. Your underbody stays strong and active here.
How is your heart showing up in your leadership? How are you practicing gratitude? How can you make gratitude part of your routine? Through journaling, before a meal, when you wake up in the morning or go to bed. When we practice gratitude, we lean into joy.
Kneeling sidekick. Keep the left knee and left hand down on the floor. The opposite leg will extend out at this time. With your top foot flexed, begin to float the leg away from the floor. Hold it in a lifted position and begin to point and flex the top foot, curling the toes forward and stretching the ankle to point, peeling the toes back and creasing the ankle to flex. Let's repeat 2 more times, and then we'll transition into thread the needle. With the top leg extended, round the elbow and twist the torso to thread the arm underneath the ribs. Then extend the arm back up to the sky. The hips, once again, stay still facing forward as you torso twist.
When we respond versus react, we are showing up to the conversation with our logic and our emotions. Taking a few slow, deep breaths gives time for our emotions and logic to synchronize. There is power in taking a moment to slow down during a conversation and pause.
Supine crisscross. We'll lay on our back. Extend the legs out and lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Reach the fingertips outside your hips and begin to crisscross one foot on top of the other. Repeat this motion while keeping the low back anchored.
Imagine yourself in the future, knowing your goal, knowing the path to get there, and having the belief in yourself to stay on that path until you arrived.
Roll over. We'll cross the right ankle over the left ankle and begin to lower your legs down to 45 degrees. You'll lift the legs up and begin to peel the hips and low back away from the mat, rolling up to your shoulders. Once you've found your roll over position, let's crisscross the opposite ankle on top and begin to articulate the spine back down, letting the legs lower down to 45. And now using your exhale, your belly to pick the legs back up, rolling up to your inversion. Cross the opposite ankle over and begin to melt back down. Keep energy in the legs from hip to toe and continually press the arms into the mat. The upper back and the shoulders will help leverage you into an elevated position and also help to control your movement down again.
Thank you for exploring this Pilates class wave today. We hope it guides you through the rest of your day. If you like this class, please provide us with a thumbs up, a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Mind and Body Pilates, a Wellness Approach classes.